Hello everybody, hope you're doing well. Welcome to the start of the week in this wacky, waving, inflatable, fun, whatever it is, world that is Marvel Contest of Champions. In any case, I'd like to say it's been a busy weekend, but we've got some things to cover and go over, like Battlegrounds, like Alliance War, like a problem with the stash timer, and that's really it, to be honest. There's not a huge amount going on. But I want to kick off the show with this. This was sent to me by Ava, who basically said that they're having some issues. I think a lot of players, we did cover this a little bit last week, in that some players are having some issues when it comes to joining Alliance, changes in Alliance, and that's an issue. For a lot of players, after Alliance War season had ended, depending on if there was availability in different alliances, people will be looking to downgrade, upgrade, go left, go right when it comes to changing alliances. And it may be part way through or not completed with the Alliance Enlistment Event. So that's, or the solo event, the Alliance-based event for it, which is a problem because then for some players they want to access certain things like Primordial Dust. So it kind of like suppresses that element of interaction. And some players aren't getting guarantees. Well, to be honest, they're not getting any kind of guarantees with it. As you can see here from this support ticket, there is that they're not able to retrospectively get the finishing point. If you go into a new alliance and they've done all the things, you've gone from alliance that have done half of the event points for the milestones, and then you go to one that's fully done it, then you don't retrospectively get the 100%ing side of things. So in a nutshell, the point we're getting to is players are feeling left out and losing those last milestones when switching alliances. And Kabam aren't going to be allowing you more, or allowing you to get that extra that is lost, which is a bit of a disappointment. Okay, now quickly on to stash issues. So currently there is a bit of a stash issue at the moment, where if you might not have anything expiring on your kind of little stash marker, which I at the moment have, if you check in game actually, you'll probably see like a red marker with something that might say about, like, you know, for me it's saying about 14 hours. And when I go to my stash, I then look around to see like if there's anything actually expiring. No. Checking again into other elements of it. No. So yeah, there seems to be something off at the moment with the warning system for that stash, which of course, if you're a non-spending player in Marvel Contest of Champions, is a very important element because you have to constantly manage your stash. I mean, look, you can see on screen, this is from a player's like stash, which you can see no red. When something's red, it indicates that something's expiring very shortly. And of course, you get a warning system to say, as this player has right here, and you can see on screen, saying 1 hour and 1 hour 55 minutes. I think that says, yeah, 1 hour 55 minutes until something expires. But there's nothing expiring, especially when he checks, or they check, their stash, which is a bug, is a problem. This was noted down the 14th of September, so that was Thursday of last week. And currently, this has been noted by Kabam. Other people are seeing this as well. Look, for people that don't care about this and care, like, look, it's still an issue. Important for me, I'm a non-spending player, so I need to manage my stash effectively and efficiently as possible, and just checking that, you know, that if there's something to expire, I've got to work around that. If there's energy to expire, I've got to use that energy. If there's maybe an arena boost, you know, expiring, I've got to think about using it, because it gets me to milestones quicker, therefore getting me units quicker. So Kabam Jack said on Friday, the team is looking into this. They seem confident they have a substantial lead. I know it's not super impactful to your session experience, but it should be resolved in the near future. Thanks for bringing it to our attention. So yeah, that will be resolved. But at this time, it is something being noted by quite a lot of players, actually, than I thought would be noted. But yeah, that's kind of like explaining that particular situation. If you're in game and looking like, okay, what's happening with it? Why is my stash kind of like, you know, saying that I've got something expiring in an hour, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whenever, and technically you've got days. So that gives you a bit of perspective to that. Next up, going to talk about Battleground Matchmaking. Now, for me personally, I haven't got involved with the season as of yet, and that's just because I've got other stuff going on, things that I need to be working on, content to be made, and also I've got to get other stuff done. I'm hoping to, like, I'm recording this on Sunday, I'm hoping to get some time in the evening, but I want to actually do Act 8.2.5 100% before I move into 8.2.6 and try and 100% that before the end of next week, before we get the information of the new 8.3 stuff, which I'm guessing is going to be next month, for the month of October. So I've got to work fast on that stuff. Any case, matchmaking. So I saw this particular thread, and look, there's actually a really good point on this one, which I'm going to kind of like reference in this one, which is this by Lord Smasher. Kabam should just save all these posts at the start of every season, repost them. Would save some time as nothing different is being said. And that's really it. Like, we're literally going to repeat what we said last season to what we're going to say this season when it comes to stuff. And that's just like, matchmaking isn't perfect. It's getting better. Kabam like make these kind of little jumps, little baby steps each and every month to improve stuff when it comes to Battlegrounds. And it will take, like, this particular Battlegrounds, I think we're like, the official launch, season 1, was like, I think it was around this time. So what, we're on season 11? Because it's not every month. We've basically been a year since this game mode had been properly released. And it's made little improvements every season. Some seasons it's done very well. Some seasons it's done very badly. But it is making small gains. And the small gains are things like matchmaking. Matchmaking isn't perfect. And if anybody says it is, it just isn't. You've got this particular scenario right here. Like, as you know, there's something that Kabam say that if certain player progressions can't go past a certain point, or they are more likely to be stomped on at a certain point. I mean, here's a good example. Charlie Jiggins posts this to say that they faced off against a Kabam dev, which is J Nick, by the way, and this person or player's account is a 10k prestige account with a rating of 1.1 mil, which means nothing. It's like all this is really down to like the most potent of champions within someone's roster. Pretty impressive. No, actually not. I thought this was a rank 5-6 star. That would have been impressive. But yeah, you can see like there's a Dr. Doom there. There's a Gallon. There's a Apocalypse against a, well, look at that. There's a rank 2 7-star like Overseer right there. That can be pretty annoying to face off against. And there's an 18,000, nearly 19,000 prestige account. So it's a bit of a mismatch there, But this is what you're going to face off against. This is like, if people are surprised about this, this is what you're going to face off against when it comes to these things. And as Piccolo says, welcome to Platinum 2. I mean, that's always been the case with Platinum. It's always, as soon as you get up there, it's just like, look, it's not good. I have no problem with Kabam devs, and also people that are, Kabam devs playing their own game. I think we discussed this before, where it's like, it's good to see that these particular players that work at Kabam are experiencing the game. There's players that have accounts that dev team are higher and, whaley, and those that are lower and non-whaley. But obviously you can still spot them out because they have that particular dev banner. Of course, matchmaking does boil down to skill a lot of the time, but there is a but to that. I mean, as Mike puts quite well, it all comes down to skill. I might have a rating of 3 mil, but I get pitted against even bigger accounts and still win, or pitted against someone with a 1.5 mil rating and lose. It just matters if the other person messes up even more than you. And that's the thing. If you mess up, and I've had that before, but at the same time, when you're going up against higher accounts, there's always going to be that divide of champion potency based on starage. It's like, if they filled a 7-star champion at rank 2, and my only logical counter against that one would be a rank 3 6-star, which has happened, then is my rank 3 6-star going to, in this particular scenario, out damage that 7-star rank 2 with a high hit pool and maybe better defensive qualities versus what the other player's doing? And yes, okay, it's up to them to mess up, but if they're using then a 6-star rank 5 or indeed another rank 2 7-star, then they might out damage me in that fight. So them out damaging versus my kind of low damaging option, I'm gonna have to really rely on that, my champion being a high damage dealer in that particular scenario, which isn't always possible. So there's always kind of like and as well, mastery setups could be another factor into this one. They could have a different mastery setup to me that that they out damage. maybe it would be a case that if I had a certain mastery set up, that my rank 3 6-star without damage. But you just don't know. There's lots of different scenarios, and it's not as plain as black and white as definitely this puts out to be. But what rings true and what I agree in is definitely the skill elements. If you don't mess up, there's a chance that you might do well. But then you're relying on poor circumstance, and sometimes I don't think that's always the case of going like who messes up the most, because then it's it doesn't really kind of like pinpoint a well-playing scenario for you. It's like we should demand perfection from yourself when you play, but it's like, oh, you know, if you spend all your time hoping that the other person messes up, then I don't know. I don't really like that kind of way of thinking about it. Oh, I'm playing well, I hope the enemy messes up. So I think what we'll do is we'll end this particular segment by covering what Chuck put, because I think it's a really good point. Never fails. Every season, facing 3 to 4 million accounts every match and spinning my wheels in gold tiers, while someone who is cavalier starts complaining about seeing them for the first time in platinum. Matchmaking sucks, but not for the reasons you posted. I'm obviously referring to the original post. I definitely like, matchmaking isn't great. It still needs evolving, it needs improving, and it's something Kabam are getting there very slowly, but they're getting there. It's definitely a lot better than it was, but it will need a lot of fundamentals and algorithmic elements to improve. Definitely like the point here about spinning wheels in gold tiers. I've seen a lot of people posting about not being able to make progression, and that's just a case of pace. Look, you win some, you lose some. I think a lot of us get it when it comes to Battlegrounds. I do not know why the medal system was changed the way it was. When something's not broke, don't fix it. You know, and it's not broke. So why did it need to be fixed in a certain way? It's all about pace. You know, the elite players, the elite skilled, are in Gladiator Circuit, and they're high up in Gladiator Circuit for a reason, because they are skilled elite players of this game. And that should be applauded. Well done. But for the other people that are looking to get pace and get to those particular higher elements, and you've got Paragon players, as Chuck says, spinning wheels in gold tier. And that's, you know, that's annoying. That is frustrating. It is also a unconstructive use of time for a lot of people and players. People mainly because at the end of the day, it's the same thing when it comes to Arena, and this is becoming more like Arena by the day, in that you can spend 3 days constantly grinding for a good chunk of players to not get anything of substantial value by the end of it. And that's just the issue, isn't it? Like, you have to be seen like, well, what are you picking out of it? Yes, you got trophy tokens. And I suppose, yeah, with Arena, it's units. But at the same time, it's like you want to be able to say, hey, I'm getting up to Gladiator Circuit, and it didn't feel like it was a stress in order to do so. And that's the thing, is like this game should be all about removing load, stress, and making things efficient. The same way that it made Event Quest efficient. Like it's like a few steps forward and then a few steps back at the same time. With stuff and progression. But I don't know, like, thoughts in the comment section about matchmaking in general. I'm sure we'll be back here next month talking about exactly the same thing when it comes to the next season, season 12. I'm just going to quickly end with Alliance War coverage. I did a little bit, I think, on Friday, talking about the state of Alliance Wars and some usability, just some struggles in general. And over the weekend, a lot of people have had to reset their Alliance Wars defense placements, which again is annoying, but there was a little bit of a reason for that one, so it should be fine now. I mean, it's less than ideal. A lot of people have been complaining about a lot of things when it comes to Alliance Wars. Quite justly, you know, the rewards haven't gone up for certain progression groups, and there's some questions around that one. But look, you know, this particular issue is, and I think this has now been resolved in that players were finding that they couldn't move on to the next tile, which you can see on screen right now. The only workaround for this was if you kind of like used your thumb and forefinger, I think it is, and then just kind of like, zoom in. If you zoom in, you're able to see it, but the player's name just kind of like overlaps it, which isn't too great. And a few people were talking about this in a forum thread, and this was resolved. And I think this was resolved over the weekend, which is the reason that it was, you had to reset your defense. So Jack said, as pointed out in this thread, obviously the workaround. Furthermore, more importantly, our team are aware of this issue and working to adjust the node so you can need less than ideal workaround. Additionally, as a result of the change, you'll need to reset your Alliance Wars defense for the next matchup. We are working on getting the message out to the team. It did cause a lot of kind of upset for people when it came to setting up for Alliance. I know that our Alliance leadership was just like, look, they've done it to us. We're going to have to quickly reset. We've got to reset, assign it. And it's like, feel for them when stuff like this happens, because it's like you just got to go so fast. Is there one more? Let's change. Oh, hang on. New issue. They're causing the issue that of the node prior to the portal nodes now look like distance away from them actually got shorter, causing player name below portal needs to be visible, hidden under the portal number. Oh dear. So there could be some other issues with it. Look out. Keep vigilant, people, and good luck in your grind in Alliance Wars. Now, there may or may not be arena results and predictions, and that is just because I've got to wake up very early on in the morning and travel for work. So may not be doing a arena results and predictions, but anyway, I'll try and do something when I'm back. We'll have to see. It just depends on time, because then I'm back later on in the day as well. But thanks very much to those that support the channel as YouTube members at Patreon, also those that support on twitch.tv, and also check out some other content located on screen right now. Maybe another video today. If not, I'll be working on some stuff for tomorrow. So check out that then. Cheers, everybody. Have a great day. Bye-bye.